The camera pans across a dazzling high-tech kitchen stage bathed in spotlights. The grand finale of the world's greatest plate is underway. In the center, 32-year-old Amara Johnson, black, tall, confident, her curls wrapped in a patterned headscarf, stands behind a steaming pot of gumbo. The host announces, "Next up, Chef Amara's mystery family recipe." Murmurs ripple through the crowd. As she plates the dish with quiet pride, the celebrity judge, Chef Landon Crane, white, mid-50s, Michelin-starred smug, chuckles loudly. "Oh, is that stew?" he jeers. "Did someone bring grandma's leftovers?" Laughter erupts. Amara's face flickers. Shock, then shame. Her hand trembles as she holds the ladle. Landon said, "I hope you're not expecting stars for nostalgia." The camera captures Amara blinking back tears. Her lips part, but she says nothing. The other judges whisper. One nods dismissively. This moment, this bite, is all she has. The dish is placed before Landon, but he folds his arms, refusing to taste it. A shocked hush falls. Cut to Amara's face, broken, humiliated, yet burning with something deeper. Something fierce. Backstage, fluorescent lights buzz. Amara leans over a stainless steel prep table, gripping its edge like it's the only thing keeping her upright. A production assistant scurries past, avoiding eye contact. Amara whispers, "Why did I think they'd understand?" Her friend and sous chef, Malik, a lean, dark-skinned man in his 30s with kind eyes, places a hand on her shoulder. Malik said, "You didn't come here to impress them. You came here to tell the truth. And baby, that pot of yours was truth simmered low and slow." Amara lets out a shaky breath. Her phone buzzes. A message from her mother. "Turn the other cheek. Be proud of who you are." She clutches the phone, her hands trembling again. A nearby monitor replays Landon's dismissive laugh. Her jaw clenches. The shame is curdling into resolve. The camera switches to a voiceover montage. Amara's childhood kitchen flickers into view. An older woman, Grandma Essie, laughs over a bubbling pot of gumbo. Her voice plays over. "Real food got memory in it, girl. It speaks for you and the world want." Young Amara, around 10, stirs the pot with both hands. She's barefoot, face glowing in the stove's warmth. The wood-paneled walls, chipped counters, and a radio playing gospel form the cozy backdrop. The voiceover continues, "Someday, they gon' tell you this ain't fancy enough. But you remember, your roots are royalty." The memory fades back to present-day Amara, eyes glassy but focused. She isn't just cooking. She's remembering. She's honoring. Landon strolls down the judge's corridor, laughing with a fellow chef. "She actually served me okra stew like I was her uncle at a picnic," he scoffs. They both chuckle. A producer asks off-camera, "Did you taste it?" Landon scoffs, "Didn't need to. I know mediocrity when I smell it." Meanwhile, Amara watches from the shadows, unseen. Her eyes narrow. Her silence is no longer submission. It's planning. She pulls out a worn notebook, flipping through handwritten recipes. One page is marked, Essie's Redemption. She underlines it. This isn't over. Not yet. Later that night, Amara sits alone in her tiny apartment, the glow of streetlights seeping through the window blinds. She replays the show footage, pausing on Landon's sneer. Her face hardens. In front of her, the same pot she used in the competition sits on the stove, still warm. She ladles a spoonful, tastes it, then nods slowly. She opens her laptop, cursor hovering over a culinary contest registration form. She types in a pseudonym, May Ellis. She smiles slightly. If they won't see her, she'll show them another way. Not out of fear, but strategy. It's war now. And her weapon is flavor. The hum of cicadas fills the humid southern night. We're in a small clapboard house in Montgomery, Alabama. Young Amara, no older than 10, sits on a wooden stool watching Grandma Essie stir a massive cast-iron pot over a flame. "We cook with memory, baby," Essie said, her voice rich like molasses. "Not just hands." The kitchen is filled with fragrant steam, onions, peppers, celery, spices. "Everything I know, I give to this gumbo," she said. "When I'm gone, this pot'll still speak for me." Amara nods, big brown eyes full of wonder. She grabs a wooden spoon with 2 hands and stirs slowly. "Easy now," Grandma Essie chuckles. "Respect the rhythm." This was more than cooking. This was inheritance. The scene fades to adult Amara, alone in her New York apartment, holding the same spoon. She whispers, "I remember. Mama Essie. I remember." Back in the present, Amara walks through a busy New York diner's kitchen. The clatter of pans and constant shouting fills the air. She's in uniform, apron-stained, face-tired, but focused. She flips an omelet with perfect precision, dodging a shout from her boss. "Johnson, we're not plating for the queen. Hustle," he barks. She doesn't respond. Her eyes drift to a small corkboard on the wall. Pinned there, a photo of her and Grandma Essie from long ago. She exhales, wiping her brow. Her coworker Louisa nudges her. "You're too good for this place," she says. Amara replies, "One day, not yet." Behind her, orders pile up, but her heart is somewhere else. Somewhere more flavorful, more powerful. The diner's grease fades from her mind, replaced by the aroma of home. Later that night, Amara stands in her shower, water streaming down, steam mixing with her exhausted sighs. Her eyes close, the sound of the diner replaced by Essie's voice again. "Don't cook scared." The words strike like thunder. Amara opens her eyes. Her apartment is small, tight walls, peeling paint, dreams boxed up in shelves, but her heart suddenly pounds. She rushes out, towel around her, slipping slightly, and pulls out her old recipe binder from under the bed. The pages are stained, worn, but still fragrant with dried herbs and memory. She flips to the last page, Sweet Fire Gumbo, Revival Batch. Below it a note, "Cook when the world doubts you." Amara stares at it for a moment. Then she starts to smile. She knows what she has to do. Amara sits across from her mother at a small diner booth. Her mom, Ruth, 60s, stern-faced but graceful, church hat on the seat beside her, sips tea. Amara pushes a paper across the table. Culinary Open Challenge. Final prize, $250,000. Ruth glances at it, unimpressed. "You still chasing that pipe dream?" she asks. Amara nods. "It's not just mine. It's Grandma's." Ruth sighs. "Essie died broke, baby. She gave her life to a kitchen and got crumbs back." Amara leans in. "She gave us dignity, flavor, a legacy." Ruth softens, looks out the window. "You don't win in this world by being soulful. You win by being smart." A beat of silence. Amara folds the paper slowly, then says, "Then I'll be both." Ruth doesn't smile, but she doesn't stop her either. Back home, Amara kneels on her apartment floor, ingredients spread out in bowls around her. Okra, crab legs, smoked sausage, bay leaves, garlic. The lighting is dim, jazz plays faintly in the background. She closes her eyes, breathes deep, and begins to cook. Each motion is deliberate. Stirring, chopping, searing. Her movements mirror Grandma Essie's from years ago. She's not testing recipes. She's practicing resistance, writing a declaration with every spice. In her notebook she scribbles a title, May Ellis, Modern Southern Revival. A plan is forming. She will enter under a false name. She will present her soul food as high art. No one will laugh. Not this time. As the gumbo simmers, she tastes a spoonful and smiles softly. It tastes like home. It tastes like war. Weeks later, under the alias May Ellis, Amara enters the Culinary Open Challenge. The event takes place inside a massive glass atrium, flooded with natural light and humming with elite competitors. She wears a crisp white chef's jacket, hair pulled tight, eyes alert. No one recognizes her. Cameras circle. Judges roam. In round 1, the theme is modern heritage. Amara presents an elegant, deconstructed black-eyed pea and smoked ham hock terrine, plated like a 5-star appetizer. A judge leans over the dish, intrigued. Unexpected, he murmurs. Another tastes it. Silence. Then a slow nod. She moves on to the next round. In the crowd, behind sunglasses and a program, Chef Landon watches her, brow furrowed. Something about this, May feels familiar. But he can't place her yet. In the green room after the challenge, Amara sits quietly, sipping water. Her heart is thumping, but her face is unreadable. A group of contestants chat nearby, laughing, comparing knives. One leans in, whispering, "You saw that one girl? May? Country as cornbread but plating like Paris." The others snicker. Amara keeps her gaze forward. A young chef named Elise White, mid-20s, approaches. "Hey," she says. "You came out of nowhere. Where'd you train?" Amara smiles faintly. "Nowhere you'd know." Elise narrows her eyes. "Right." Then turns, leaving a silence behind. Amara exhales slowly. She's not here to be liked. She's here to win. Behind her, a large TV replays the moment from round 1, her dish on screen, receiving praise. A flicker of pride crosses her face. Round 2 begins. The theme: global fusion. The arena buzzes. Amara's station fills with ingredients: West African spices, Gulf seafood, Southern cornbread crumbs. She constructs a Creole jollof risotto, slow-simmered tomato base, cayenne heat, topped with crispy okra tempura. Her hands move with grace and urgency. Across the floor, Landon walks the perimeter, peering at stations. He stops, stares. The scent is unmistakable. His eyes narrow. "That's gumbo stock," he mutters. He inches closer. Amara doesn't look up, but she knows he's there. She adds smoked paprika, stirs once, then covers the pot. When judging begins, her plate is served second. The panel tastes, then blinks. "This sings," one judge whispers. Another clutches his chest dramatically. Laughter follows. Landon watches, tight-lipped. He doesn't laugh. The next morning, Amara finds her prep station ransacked. Containers overturned. One of her spice tins, her grandmother's blend, has been dumped out and scattered across the table. Her breath catches. Around her, the kitchen buzzes as if nothing's wrong. She kneels, picking up the tin's dented lid. Malik, disguised as her assistant, rushes over. "What happened?" She swallows hard. "They know. Or they're guessing." Malik whispers, "You wanna back out?" Amara stands slowly, voice calm. "No. I wanna make something they'll never forget." She scoops the spice off the floor, cradling it like gold dust. Eyes steal over. She has lost too much to lose now. As others prep for round 3, she stares down at the mess. This isn't sabotage, it's fuel. The round begins with a 60-minute countdown. Amara works silently. Each motion is sharp, deliberate, knife flashing, oil sizzling, broth bubbling. She isn't recreating a dish now. She's crafting a statement. Her final dish, sweetfire gumbo croquette with essence foam, a deconstructed bite that carries soul and technique in equal measure. When the time ends, applause rings out. Her plate is picked up by the lead judge, who tastes it and pauses, eyes closing. "What is this flavor?" Amara responds softly, "History." Silence. Then, a slow clap. Cameras flash. In the wings, Landon watches from the shadows, his jaw set. He still hasn't figured it out, but something inside him turns. Something uneasy. The storm has arrived, and its name is Amara. Mid-competition, tension thickens. As the next challenge ends, Amara walks off stage to retrieve her knife kit. She finds a printed photo taped to her locker door. Her old press photo from The World's Greatest Plate with the name, Amara Johnson, scribbled in bold red marker. Her heart drops. Someone knows. She rips it down, breath catching. From across the prep area, Landon leans against a counter, arms folded, watching. His smirk is gone. He says nothing, but everything in his eyes says, I remember now. Amara clenches the photo in her fist. Malik enters, sees her face, and asks, You good? Amara nods once. They're trying to scare me. That's all they've got now. Her voice is steady, but her pulse rages. The mask is slipping. The truth is coming. Moments later, Amara is summoned to the judge's chamber. She walks into a cold, glass-walled room where the panel waits. Landon is already seated, a smug mask back in place. One of the senior judges speaks first. Chef Maelis, we have reason to believe you've competed under a false identity. Care to explain? Amara straightens. I competed as myself. I just didn't give you the name you laughed out of a room. A pause. One of the junior judges shifts uncomfortably. Landon said, Rules are rules, this is deception. Amara holds his gaze. You made my name a punchline. I made it a strategy. Silence. Tension simmers. The head judge sighs. We'll deliberate. Amara walks out, unshaken. But the audience outside senses something shifting. Whispers rise. The storm door just blew open. Outside the chamber, chaos brews. The contestants gather, murmuring, staring. Elise, the young white chef, whispers to another, She lied to get in. They'll toss her. But, before anyone can speculate further, one of the judges, an elegant black woman in her 60s named Chef Devereaux, steps forward onto the stage. The room stills. I need to speak, she announces. Her voice is calm, firm. She pulls out a photograph from her folder and holds it high. This woman's grandmother, Essie Johnson, taught me how to braise oxtail when I was 14. Gasps ripple through the crowd. She didn't just feed people, she fed movements. Civil rights leaders sat at her table. This isn't deception. This is reclamation. Amara, watching from the side, exhales as if for the first time all day. Her roots just walked into the room. The judge's words echo beyond the kitchen. On social media, clips of Devereaux's speech go viral. The image of Grandma Essie's photo floods timelines. Old articles resurface about Essie's kitchen, how she hosted marches, fed protesters, resisted with seasoning and soul. Hashtags rise. #CookWithMemory, #AmarasRight. News stations replay Landon's mockery from the original show. Opinion pieces question why soul food was ever considered less. Amara watches it unfold from her phone backstage. She's speechless. Malik beside her says, They finally see you. Amara shakes her head. No, they see her. And through her. Me. Outside, the crowd chants her name. For the first time, it's not mockery. It's recognition. Later that night, Amara stands alone on the rooftop of the competition venue. The city glows below. Her chef's coat flutters in the breeze. She leans on the railing, staring at the skyline, deep in thought. Footsteps approach. Chef Devereaux appears, holding a mug of tea. You know what made your gumbo different? She asks. Amara doesn't look away. Love. Devereaux smiles. Rage and reverence. They sip in silence. They'll come for you again, Devereaux warns. But next time, you'll know the fire's already in you. Amara nods. Let them come. I brought a bigger pot. They laugh quietly. The camera pulls back slowly, leaving the two women silhouetted against a city that's finally listening. The final challenge is announced. One plate to define you. Contestants freeze. For Amara, there's no question. She already knows what she'll make. As she walks to her station, the crowd buzzes with anticipation. Across the arena, Landon glares. His lips press into a thin line as he watches her prepare her ingredients. The host announces, 60 minutes. Begin. Amara moves with calm intensity. She pulls out crab okra, smoked turkey, and Essie's spice mix, meticulously salvaged. The pot starts to boil. The aroma fills the air, turning heads. Landon tastes his own sauce, distracted by the scent from across the room. He walks past Amara's station but says nothing. The cameras zoom in on her face. Focused, proud, unshaken. This dish isn't just for the judges. It's for her grandmother. It's for everyone who was told their flavor didn't belong. Halfway into the challenge, Amara's gumbo is simmering to perfection. The room smells like the South. Even the judges glance at each other, visibly curious. Malik, watching from behind the curtain, clenches his fist in silent support. Suddenly, Landon walks over. "You're really gonna submit, Stu, again?" he mutters, just loud enough for her to hear. Amara doesn't turn. She ladles a spoonful of broth, tastes it, then replies coolly, "This stew survived plantations. It healed wounds. What did your sauce ever do but sit on porcelain?" Landon's face twitches. "We'll see how far pity cooking gets you." Amara finally looks at him and says, "It's not pity, it's power." The camera lingers on her hand, stirring the pot. Steady, certain, ancestral. The final minutes tick down. Amara plates her gumbo with precision, placing a small cornbread crisp on top, finishing with a drizzle of okra oil and a single edible flower. It's rustic elegance. Across the arena, cameras flash. Judges prepare to taste. One by one, each contestant presents. Landon goes last before her. His dish, minimalist, pristine, receives polite applause. When Amara steps up, the crowd leans forward. Her plate is placed in front of the panel. The lead judge, Devereaux, lifts her spoon first. She tastes. Her eyes close. A breath escapes her lips like a prayer. "Essence," she whispers. The other judges follow. The room falls completely silent. Even Landon doesn't blink. Amara stands tall, no tremble in her fingers now. This moment is hers. The judges deliberate behind closed doors. Amara waits backstage, heart pounding, clutching her grandmother's spoon in her palm. Malik paces. Landon stands nearby, arms crossed, gaze fixed downward. Moments later, the doors open. The host steps forward. And the winner of the Culinary Open Challenge is... A pause. May Ellis, also known as Amara Johnson. Thunderous applause. Amara doesn't move at first. Her breath catches. Malik shouts, "You did it!" She walks forward slowly, tears forming, but not falling. Landon turns and walks away without a word. Amara ascends the stage, greeted by a standing ovation. Chef Devereaux hands her the trophy and says, "Your grandmother would have been proud." Amara replies, "She still is." Camera flashes fill the room. History just changed flavors. As the applause fades, Amara steps to the mic. She speaks softly, but the room hangs on every word. "I was told this kind of food wasn't enough, that it wasn't refined. But what's more refined than survival? Than love passed down in cast iron pot?" She holds up the wooden spoon. "This was my grandmother's. It stirred resistance, it stirred joy, it stirred hope. Tonight, it stirred victory." A beat. Then a roaring cheer. People in the crowd wipe tears. Journalists scribble notes. Behind her, the large screen fades to a photo of Grandma Essie in her old kitchen, smiling wide. Amara turns to look, placing the spoon down on the podium like a relic. For a moment, time stands still. One legacy ends. Another begins. A week after the competition, Amara sits with her mother, Ruth, in their backyard garden in Montgomery. Birds chirp, Shiwa. A gentle breeze moves through the magnolia trees. Ruth pours sweet tea, her hands slower than they used to be. She breaks the silence. "I watched the whole thing," she says. Amara looks over. Ruth continues, "You didn't just cook for yourself. You cooked us out of shame." Amara's voice is soft. "I just wanted her name to mean something." Ruth nods slowly. "It already did. You just made the world say it out loud." They sip in silence. Ruth reaches out and takes Amara's hand, worn, steady, proud. "You brought her back," she says. Amara swallows the lump in her throat. "I had to. She never left me." The garden around them feels timeless, sacred. Back in New York, Amara strolls past the old diner where she once flipped omelets. She pauses outside, looking in through the window. A young line cook waves at her from behind the grill. She waves back, smiling. Her old boss spots her, freezes mid-yell, and awkwardly ducks into the back. Malik joins her, holding 2 coffees. "Still smells like fryer oil," he jokes. She laughs. "Feels like another life." A delivery driver passing by calls out, "You that gumbo chef, right?" She nods. "Yes, sir." Dot. The man tips his hat and says, "Respect." Amara turns back toward the street. New York feels different now, not colder, but waiting. She isn't trying to fit in anymore. The city is finally opening its mouth to taste. Amara walks through a gallery exhibition titled Flavors of Resistance. One wall is dedicated to soul food and cultural resilience. In the center hangs a massive framed photo of Grandma Essie, cooking beside young Amara in their tiny kitchen. Below it, her winning spoon sits in a glass case. A plaque reads, "Essie Johnson's Legacy, preserved by Amara Johnson, Culinary Open Champion." Visitors stop and take pictures, some visibly moved. A young girl, no older than 9, tugs her mother's arm and points. "She looks like me." Amara watches quietly from a corner, tears shining in her eyes. This wasn't just a competition. It was a reclamation. It was a recipe written across generations, and finally, the world is reading. Landon Crane appears on a morning talk show, sitting stiffly in a sharp suit. The host smiles politely. "So, about the Culinary Open, you've been quiet." Landon clears his throat. "I misjudged a dish? And a chef?" The host raises an eyebrow. "You mean Amara Johnson?" Landon nods. "Yes, I let bias cloud my judgment. Her dish, it was extraordinary." The clip spreads like wildfire online. For many it feels hollow, too little, too late. But for Amara, watching from her couch, it doesn't matter. Malik sits beside her, passing popcorn. She chuckles. "Took him long enough." Malik grins. "He just figured out flavor can punch back." Amara raises a brow. "Better wear a helmet next time." They both laugh, the sound full, unburdened. Amara stands outside, a newly renovated storefront. The sign reads, "Miss Essie's Table, a Southern Revival Kitchen." The grand opening banner flaps in the breeze. Inside, the walls are lined with framed photos, her grandmother protest marches, handwritten recipes. Staff bustle behind the counter. Amara steps through the front door and breathes it in. The scent of gumbo, fried green tomatoes and cornbread fills the air. A long line waits outside. Her mom is seated near the kitchen, wiping her eyes. Malik flips a sign to open. A little girl runs up to the counter and shouts, "Miss Amara, can I be a chef like you?" Amara kneels down and smiles. "Baby, you already are." The girl grins. The future is simmering. And it smells like home. Night has fallen over Miss Essie's table. Inside, the final guests finish dessert. Amara walks through the dining room, wiping her hands on her apron. The walls echo with soft jazz and quiet laughter. She steps behind the counter, where a framed recipe, handwritten in Grandma Essie's script, hangs in the center. She touches the glass with her fingers. Malik calls from the kitchen, "We're out of sweet tea." "Again?" Amara chuckles, "That's a good problem." Her mom sits at the bar, sipping slowly, pride in her eyes. Amara looks around, wood, family photos, simmering pots, and exhales. Everything her grandmother dreamed of, built brick by brick, spice by spice. This isn't just a restaurant. It's a shrine. A story. A second chance for a name once laughed off a stage. Later that night, Amara sits alone in her office, a modest space above the kitchen. She opens a letter delivered earlier that day. It's an invitation. The James Beard Foundation requests your presence as keynote speaker for Heritage in Fine Cuisine. Her breath hitches. She holds the envelope against her chest for a moment. Then, with quiet excitement, she pins it beside another note. Grandma Essie's old grocery list. 2 lives. 2 lists. 1 purpose. The past and future sharing the same corkboard. She looks around the room. Bare walls, cracked paint, a window cracked open to the city noise, and smiles. The world may be grand, but this was always enough. She turns off the light, leaving the letter glowing faintly in the moonlight. The next morning, Amara walks through a local farmer's market, weaving through rows of vendors. Children run past, people greet her warmly. She stops at a produce stand where a young black girl and her father are buying collards. The girl points shyly. "You're the gumbo lady." Amara smiles. "That's me." The father says, "We made your recipe last Sunday." Whole family cried. Amara nods, touched. She bends to the girl's level. "You cook with your daddy." The girl nods. "Wanna be a chef?" Amara grins. "Start with your story. Every recipe needs one." She places a basket of okra on the stand, pays, and walks on. This is what winning looks like, not trophies, but people remembering where they came from. A week later, Amara stands in front of a packed auditorium. Culinary students and industry elites sit in silence as she begins her keynote. She doesn't start with a dish, but a memory. "My grandmother used to say flavor was a kind of freedom. When you had nothing else, you could still taste." The crowd leans in. "I was told soul food didn't belong in fine dining, but what's finer than feeding the soul?" Images of Essie's kitchen flicker behind her on the screen. Amara's voice breaks but holds. This food, this history was never meant to impress you. It was meant to survive you. The crowd rises in a standing ovation. Not for performance, for truth, for flavor born in fire. Back in her restaurant after the keynote, Amara walks through the kitchen one last time before closing. She turns off the burners, checks the lock, and steps outside. The street is quiet. She stands on the sidewalk under a street lamp, looking up. A breeze rustles the trees. For a moment she hears Essie's voice whispering, soft as steam, "You did good, baby." Amara closes her eyes, smiles. Then she walks away, not rushed, not afraid, just steady. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing the full sign, Miss Essie's Table. Its lights glow in the darkness like a lighthouse for every flavor, every name, ever laughed at and left behind. The final frame lingers as her figure disappears down the block, freedom walking home.